All right, welcome, Lijan Matlabezulu. There's a lot of people, billions, who think they know God, but by God we are speaking of the unknowable real creator, who is nameless. No one can know that, but billions have been deceived with a knowledge that they use to imagine in their own mind, using a script to know God. Therefore, any obedience to this God dies the moment you see the mechanism that has been used to plant the idea into your mind. You can rediscover your first steps out of this quagmire.
This is not a church.
On this at marfa.com, where you can download as many PDFs as possible. You can also read the 3 books that we recommend: The Creator or a God, Free from God, No More Masters, and await the 4th one that is coming anyway. You can get these books from Amazon or even using our website to study and to understand this issue of knowing God, but now worshipping an idol by that knowledge of knowing God. What is an idol? An idol is a statue or an object or an idea that is adored and loved and adored by billions of people or by a single person. That is the general definition, but the etymological layer that comes before this definition was popularized, when you look at this word idol from the Greek eidolon, there is a lot of things that are missing there, because originally the word eidolon never meant a statue at all. It meant an image, an imagination, a phantom, an apparition, a mental picture that you formulate in your brain. But how does your brain formulate this mental picture? How does your brain think? It thinks through images, because without images or without any symbols, the brain cannot touch reality or import reality to your understanding and your consciousness. So it thinks in images, words, and characters, meaning that whatever you call God today is not the unknowable real creator itself, but a rendering of your own mind produced in the only currents it has through the DMN.
Without symbols.
So every single human being who walks on the earth today has a built-in non-stop narrator inside their heads.
Burning your own fuel.
That's why they call it Adam's temple. It never shuts up. It constantly pretends to be you. It speaks and tells you stuff in your biological brain, running on autopilot, automatic many of the times. It is the one that thinks and creates your God today, if you are not aware and awakened to a certain fact. So billions claim to know God or to hear from God. If you know God, you are worshiping an idol. The moment any religion, any church, any spirituality tells you and describes to you God, it is handing you an idol. Even when scientists and atheists claim otherwise, they too are fooling you using ideas not carved from wood or cast in gold, but assembled from concepts, and concepts are no less man-made than statues. Call it whatever you want, but it is cognitive idolatry. So they give you symbols, they give you names that contain it. So any God you can define, you have contained. Any God you can contain, you have constructed. And any God you have constructed is, by very nature of this sequence of logic, an idol contained now in your brain. The Torah does not escape this, because it convicts itself. In Exodus 33:20, it declares that no one may see God and live. Yet in Exodus 24, it records Moses, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, 70 elders, and all the children of Israel seeing God. And Moses spoke to this God face to face, as a man speaketh with a friend. So they saw the God of Israel. They beheld a pavement of sapphire beneath his feet, and then sat down and ate and drank in his presence. So they saw their God, and in their brain an image was formed. Hence, from that time forth, they were already worshipping an idol. It is this idol now that Christianity failed to remove, but relocated it elsewhere and declared a man-made human being called Jesus as God incarnate. relocated that idol from the mountaintop into a human body, and they called the relocation a mystery. The believers now are told without embarrassment that they know God, that they know his face, his biography, his mother's name, his manner of death. The unknowable absolutely acquired a hometown. He's the Son of Man. In Revelations 1:14 to 15, they go on to describe their idol. His head and hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes like a flame of fire. His feet were like fine brass, as if refined in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. This is the boldest move in the history of cognitive idolatry. Rather than deny that the image is an image, they sanctify the image as the thing itself. The very traditions that they thundered against, they are now bowing to it. And they now say, this is a God that they can crucify, a God that they can conceptualize, and a God that they can conceptualize is a construction of their own brain, assisted by a script. Is an idol. Islam does not escape. On one hand, it tells Africans to smash idols of their ancestors. Yet in the Quran, Allah is described just like any idol. The statue of Allah has been dug up by archaeologists. It matches the descriptions of the Quran and the Hadiths. He has two hands, Quran 564. Both hands are the right hands, Hadith 1827. He has one shin only, Quran 6842. He has 2 feet. He has an eye or eyes, Quran 52:48. So the idol was never the sculpture. The idol is the certainty, the idea, the ideology. A civilization that destroys other images, idols, and yet writes a book portraying and describing its God in the same manner as a physical idol is teaching idolatry. Now, every name that you can think of, God, Allah, Jesus, El, Elohim, Creator, El Shaddai, Sabaoth, all the names, the 99 names of Allah, the 72 names of God, all come as nomen proprium, a Latin phrase that means a proper noun, a specific noun, a person, a place, a thing that is always capitalized because it is a name, like Jackson, Disneyland, LMD, Hamanaja Topi, L. You cannot negate and run away from a proper noun. The name itself is the idol. You cannot now exclude skeptics who say there is no God and oppose those that say Yahweh alone is God or Allah alone is God. You can't excuse them, because whilst they declare against the theologian, they are also in a mirror image of what the theologian has accepted and they do not accept. So what they are actually refuting is the bearded judge, the prayer answered, the character with the book and the biography. Yes, he demolished the nomen proprium and announces he has demolished the ultimate. But refuting Yahweh no more settles the question of the nameless ground of existence than refuting Zeus settles the question of lightning. The confident the atheist has and the confident the believer has are all arguing over the same idol, one on the other side. Same thing with the scientists. While science is a rigorous method and almost appears to be the most anti-idolatrous invention in human history, it too has fallen victim to concepts of idolatry, where they worship their results, where they worship the universe, where they worship the Big Bang, where they adore the works of their scientists and eminent persons. So why does this idolatrous impulse persist with such ferocity and tenacity across every domain of human endeavor, from the pulpit to the boardroom to the laboratory and to the highest technological achievements of humanity? Because of the brain, which is an instrument of boundary, not of boundlessness. The neural apparatus operates through symbolic compression and the formula, just like scientists as well as priests and religionists. whereby they want to take the infinite and shimmer it to a potential understanding point or node. So, to awaken from the universal slumber or universal form of idolatry that we have described here is not for one to go on and smash statues in righteous anger, only to erect a newer, more austere, monumental of abstract thought in their place, because the brain abhors a vacuum. That DMN, that voice that speaks in you, can never ever be silenced. When you think you are speaking in tongues, it's that voice that is pretending. It is to recognize that all conceptual frameworks, religious, scientific, philosophical, or digital, are merely maps drawn upon the fragile parchment of human neurology. When you understand that, you know the architecture of your brain, a 3 pound or so of tissue staring into an infinite universe or cosmos. And either it brings the gods and goddesses to understand that universe. But the DMN, that default mode network, cannot stop firing. It fires continuously, non-stop. It narrates, it imagines, it gives the mind what it cannot see, allows the brain to speak to you. It's the most powerful image-making machine in the known universe, and it lives right behind your forehead, in your skull. But here's the problem. It renders the imaginary with the same vivid detail as the real. When you say, do you understand, or do you over-understand, or do you understand, you are asking about that DMN and its imagination, whether it has captured what you were telling it or describing to it. It either remembers a face, and an invented demon is the same brush, same emotional punch, same neural response. And long before neuroscientists existed, the priesthood discovered this, and therefore they issued a script that has been installed in many people, a character in your DMN, a watching God, a wrathful spirit, a score-keeping ancestor. Your own brain now has books, holy books to rely on. So, since in every human head, a non-stop narrator, a voice that never shuts up and never stops impersonating you, the owner, rambles on, it is not the soul. It is not the spirit. It is a biological machinery running on autopilot, burning your own fuel to talk to you in your own voice. It is the default mode network. And here is what the priest understood before the neuroscientist. Whoever writes that narrator's script owns the person carrying it. So the priests own the people that believe what they wrote today. The first and greatest idol was never on an altar. It is the voice repeating what I am saying to you right now. And until this moment, and if you think it was you, you now know via this video that we have shown that it is not actually you who is speaking in that narration in your head. We want to recommend 3 books for you to identify what comes after you know this default mode network. My next book, Not for the Governed, the 10 Breakers Precision Manual, will take you to the next step. But for now, you can get free chapters and PDFs from our website and start your journey of identifying this voice that repeats and speaks to you as thought. Until Matt's coherence, we are all victims of the default mode network. It's not a joke. It's serious. I'm your manager Topi preacher Rabbi LM Tumizukunikeni Mjakanja, saying till we meet again, you need to know that the priesthood and the priests and today's propagandists and the teachers are now writing the scripts and owning the people that carry their scripts. Whose script is running in your life? That voice, that default mode network, that voice that speaks, whose voice is it? We have proved it's not you, but who? Whose voice? Whether I speak in tongues, whether I say it's a spirit, but whose voice? Thank you very much. Let's meet again. Subscribe, share, comment, and leave your questions which we can deal with. Ameni.
Thank you for watching thus far. I am Hamaneja Topi LM Dumizulu. Subscribe, like, and share. Our contact email is bmuadmissions@proton.me.